feel the kick inside. Oh, fire! Hi, welcome to ReneMarie Stroke of Luck. I'm ReneMarie. I always say this, but each show gets better and better and as good as the next and as good as the last one. And we're really blessed to have this platform as Madhouse TV to really bring what touches us into your lives. Because if it doesn't touch us, then we're not going to be truthful and honest about our conversations. So we always try to really do things that mean a lot to us. And I'm talking about us, I'm talking about Stroke of Luck team and the telethon team and the foundation team. And we really work very hard on bringing our thoughts and our feelings and our hearts to the ReneMarie Stroke of Luck TV show. Today, once again, it's going to be an awesome show. We're going to have a special guest, a chief of police, Chief Cameron, right?
Correct.
Okay. Chief Cameron. I'm not too good with names. Everybody knows that already, so I just thought I'd ask. You know, when I was thinking about the topic for today, we had to switch gears because one of our guests had to back out because of personal reasons. I was really praying on what would be meaningful. And because of the situation that's happening in our country with the targeting of the police officers and I'm just trying to think of the proper words because I know words really mean a lot, how you present yourself and what you say really people interpret in different ways. So I want to make sure that I say this in the proper way. But I'm talking about the civilians that have been put to death because of or by some officers. Now, I'm not saying whether they're correct or not incorrect. And we at ReneMarie Stroke of Luck, our motto is peace, love, and hope. We want to bring some peace into your lives and really bring a little bit of information. And the chief, we had a conversation in the green room that was very interesting. And we really shared with him that we really wanted to try to build a bridge between everybody, and not only between us in our country, but around the world. So, and I know that it's really a difficult thing, but it's a conversation that we want to have. So that's why we thought that we'd invite Chief onto the show today to talk about how we can build that bridge and really how he trains his officers now because of the situation that's happening. So when we'll get into a little more into depth into that as the show moves on in the second and third segment. But it really is a wonderful thing, and we're blessed to have the Chief Cameron here as our special guest because he's very educated, has really had been his passion for life is to support and to service us, the public. So we're really blessed to have him as a guest today. But before we do that, Judy and I guess they have to put us on different cameras, Judy. But show Judy. Say hi, Judy.
Hi.
So Judy and I are just going to say congratulations and good luck to the Olympics, right?
Yes.
Go America team.
Go.
Go Team America. Come on, yay.
Team America, let's win.
Yes. And did you watch the opening last night?
No, I wasn't home.
It was so good. Michael Phelps was carrying the you could show all three of us, Janine, if you'd like. Michael Phelps was carrying the torch down. It was amazing. It was amazing. It really is wonderful to get to that point where
it's fantastic.
It's
just a very patriotic feeling.
Patriotic. Yeah. That's a great word. Let me introduce Chief Cameron while I have him because that way we can all be. This is Chief Cameron.
Hello, everybody.
Thank you so much for being our guest today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And we're
Thank you for having me.
you know what? And I always love the green room because the green room is when you get to kind of pre-talk about the concept, about what your plan is for the show, and and we're really on the same page about bringing some peace
Absolutely.
to the world.
Absolutely.
So, speaking of peace, the United Nations. Did you know that the United Nations does a Day of Peace in September?
Yes, you told me earlier. That
Yes.
September 21st?
September 21st. You're
I
good.
pay attention.
I guess as a police officer, you have to pay
I have to
attention,
pay attention
right?
to things,
You
yeah.
pay attention to everything.
Small details matter.
Yes, they
Right.
do. They really do. They really do. But so they do a Day of Peace, and it really is. It's a wonderful thing. What you know anything about the United Nations? Because I never really learned about what they do in the United Nations. Do you know anything about what they do in the United Nations?
Not specifically, not too much. no.
Yeah, you've been too involved with your police officer work.
Correct.
So let's see. So the why did I think about the fear and the fear that we all have in this country as far as for our lives? Because every day you have fear. And Chief and I were talking about in the green room about not being fearful, because I'm talking about not so much the stuff that's going on in America, but the ISIS and they want to make us fearful.
Of course, that's why they call it terrorism. They want to terrify people.
Oh, wow.
And they want to change their way of life. And like I was telling you in the green room, the public shouldn't be afraid. They should go about their lives and enjoy themselves, and rest assured that the police department and the Homeland Security and the federal government is protecting them.
Yeah. I was explaining to them in the green room. I was sharing with them how it feels to be a stroke patient or someone that has a brain trauma, because fear is one of the biggest things that delays recovery, because I remember that when I had my stroke, I couldn't process things, so I didn't understand what right was, what wrong was. And you had said that a lot of the people that act, or what's the word I'm thinking of, that do, I don't want to say the wrong word.
A lot of the mass attackers
Yes,
have
yes.
mental health issues.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
and I think
yes.
that's probably the case for the person from Dallas and also the person from Baton Rouge. Clearly, a lot of the motivation was mental health issues,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's sad. It's sad.
It is sad.
So what is done to, I mean, you throw them in jail and they don't get the recovery. They don't get the help that we all need. I'm saying if they are someone with a mental health issue, because aren't there people that are just criminals?
No, of course. There's people that know the difference between right and wrong, and they choose to do wrong. But there's
Right.
also, law enforcement does deal very frequently with mentally ill. And it's, a lot of the people that are on drugs are trying to self-medicate and control problems that they're having because they haven't gotten proper care.
Wow.
So we do frequently deal with the mentally ill.
Wow, that's so scary. So, what I was saying before was, that I've experienced what it's like to have a brain injury. And thank God I'm recovered from it. I recovered from it because our concept is that you need to surround yourself with love. I had the love around me that actually I was able to trust in the people that were going to help me get better. And I was able to peel those onions back and learn the lessons. And they were very gentle with me, but they were very, determined to have me succeed. And you would know better than anybody how you have to be stern with people, except you have to give them some guidance.
Right. Yeah, try and lead them to the right path. Exactly.
Right. So, Chief, I asked you a question in the green room. What was it like? Did you always, was police officer, was that always your passion?
My earliest memory of what I wanted to do with my life is I wanted to be a police officer, and it's actually a tremendous experience, and I still take pride in putting the uniform on and going to work every day, and it's like living the dream, basically.
Wow.
And I never really thought that I would get to this level in the police department,
Wow.
but it's really thrilling and an honor to be where I am.
Well, you probably got there because you never thought about it. Doesn't that make sense? Like, it's because I've learned in my life that you need to do the work, right? You need
You were
to,
devoted to it.
yeah, you need to stay in things and learn and do your work and develop.
Well, the interesting thing about the police department is everybody, even up to the highest level where I'm at, started at the bottom. You know,
Right.
everybody started as a police officer. We don't have lateral entry. We don't have ROTC where you come in as an officer. Everybody starts in the same place as a police officer driving a sector car, which I think is good.
Yeah, you have to
Because
walk the walk.
You know the whole range of the job.
You have to
Yeah.
walk the walk. You have
Yes.
to. I mean, even when I used to work for a company, and one of the executives in the company, she started out as a dishwasher, and she made herself up to an executive. But she was a phenomenal executive because she had compassion and she knew what it was like to walk those footsteps.
The key is not losing touch. You know,
Yeah.
you got to keep in mind what it was like back then, and know what the police officers in the street are going through. And things have changed a lot, obviously, since I was a police officer. Computerization, we were talking about all the different tasks that law enforcement is responsible for now.
Right.
So it's a much more complex job than it was 30 years ago when I started.
Yeah, we were talking about that it really has changed because of the situations that's going on in the country, you know.
Because of that, and because of things going on overseas and the threat of terrorism. I mean, you know, when I started 30 years ago, terrorism really wasn't on our mind at all. You know, we were fighting crime basically, and that's all we were doing.
And you know, and we were talking about, like, I know you were saying, you said before, like, you shouldn't be afraid to go to Europe. You shouldn't be afraid to go to, you know, to anywhere, because driving in your car is just as dangerous as going overseas.
For the average person watching this, the odds of them being involved in any kind of terrorist attack are very low. Unfortunately, the odds of them being hurt or killed in a car accident are much higher, unfortunately. So people are worried about that. It's on their mind because it's on the news, and it really is terrifying to you know, think that you could go out to a club and someone could come in and just start shooting you. It's absolutely terrifying. But the reality of it is there's more risk driving a car.
Yeah. Wow. So, you know, our hope and desire is to, how do we build that bridge between, you know, the civilians and the police officers? Now, talk to us a little bit about that, because you had told me that this is why you do programs like
Right.
ours, because, explain it.
I think this is part of our community policing effort, you know, and it's part of being transparent in the police department, demystifying what law enforcement is, letting the viewers know that police officers are just like them. They're mothers and fathers, they have families, they coach sports. They're not evil people, they're good people. And, you know, and like I told you in the green room, the answer that I almost universally get when I ask new officers, why did you take this job? To help people.
Wow.
And it really is truly a job where you can help people. It can be something simple as stopping along the side of the Long Island Expressway and helping someone who has a flat tire, all the way up to dealing with people that are in very, very traumatic situations.
Wow. We're going to take a little break. Tommy, could I sing the national anthem? Would that be okay? And then when we come back, you want me to go over there? I can go over there. I'm gonna sing the national anthem only because, for a lot of reasons. First of all, the Olympics. Yay! Yay, go America! I love that. I love the unification that the world is right now. Like, there's that bridge that we're talking
That's
about
true.
building
Right.
is built for. So I'm going to hold this thought, though, because I'm going to ask you, why can't we keep it going 24/7?
Okay.
That's what I don't understand. I don't understand it, because if we can do it for 2 weeks or 4 weeks out of the year or every 4 years, how come we can't do that every single day?
Okay.
Every single day. So, and when we come back, we kind of took a backward slide, but you know me, like, winging it is recommended and approved in my life. See? And Judy's good. After I sing the national anthem, we're gonna have Judy read a prayer that our pastor, our father Samuel Monaco, gave to us. He's actually in China. Hi, Sam. I hope you're watching from
Hi,
China.
Sam.
Because not only do we hit Israel now, and we hit China, we're getting on the map.
Wow,
We're
great.
getting on the map. So we're going to put up a photo of Father Sam, and Judy's going to read his words. But I actually publicized that, shot it out yesterday, so that everybody could pray with us. So we'll be right back.
Galaxy Luxury Coach is a full-service limousine and party bus company. Family-owned and operated, we are an industry leader with over 25 years of experience in providing best-in-class luxury transportation for your special event. Whether it's your precious wedding day, an all-day wine tour out east, your high school prom, that special birthday, or just an amazing night on the town, our professional chauffeurs stand ready to ensure your special event is truly special. Galaxy Luxury Coach has one of the largest and modern party bus fleets in the New York area. Our party buses are simply nightclubs on wheels. Concert sound systems, light shows, lasers and strobes, multicolor LED lighting brilliantly lights your party bus inside and out. For corporate and more laid-back events, we will cater to your specific needs and requests. What sets Galaxy aside from all others in the luxury transportation industry is our attention to detail in customizing our services to your special event. At Galaxy, it's all about you and your guests. Galaxy customers return time and time again because they know they can trust Galaxy to help deliver those lifetime memorable moments. Step aboard and let your Galaxy experience begin.
Welcome to the Rehab Center located at 2025 Brentwood Road in Brentwood, New York. At the center we offer chiropractic services, acupuncture, and physical therapy. We take most major medical, no-fault, and workers' comp insurance. If you need these types of services, contact the offices at 631-234-4949. That's 631-234-4949.
Hello, welcome back to ReneMarie Stroke of Luck. As I said in the last segment, I really thought it was important for me to sing the national anthem because we're celebrating America. We're actually celebrating the world today, and through the next 2 weeks. And as I asked Chief Cameron, I just made you a priest. You're blessed? No, I'm kidding. So, as I asked Chief Cameron to answer the question before is why we can't keep the unification going in the entire world that we keep for 4 weeks every 4 years, 2 weeks in the summer, 2 weeks in the winter. How come we can't keep it forever and ever and ever? So that's a conversation we're going to have. But I'm going to sing the national anthem a little a cappella. Janine, can you turn my mic up a little bit? Testing, testing. Okay, here we go. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran clear, the bombs bursting in air gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave
now we hope we hear a lot of that, a lot at the Olympics, a lot at the Olympics. So thank you so much. It really is a blessing. And you know what? The truth is, I never knew how to feel when I sang God Bless America and the national anthem until I got older. I really didn't respect it, but now I really respect it, and that's from my daddy, and that's passed on. He was in the military, so it's for you, Daddy. So we're gonna go to Janine, not Janine, Judy. Janine, if you could put a photo of Father Sam up on the screen. There we go. And Judy, is Judy's mic on? Okay. So we'll just wait 2 seconds as Judy begins to pray.
Father Monocle's prayer. We pray for our police officers, mothers of the movement, and the world, that we can unite in love. All-powerful God, as we begin our show, let us pray for all the men and women in law enforcement. Keep them safe and free from all harm. May they fulfill their duties to the best of their ability without compromising their promise to serve and protect. May we express to them our profound respect and support. Just and merciful Father, help us to prevent further violence, to touch the lives of our brothers and sisters. Help us to be instruments of your peace. We thank you for hearing our prayer, and we ask through Christ, the Prince of Peace. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Wow. We're blessed, aren't we?
We are.
We're blessed. We're blessed to, have this platform and be connected and have all the surroundings and all the family and friends. And honestly, everybody who joins us really becomes a part of our family, even when we connect with them. And we really want a family of people that we could just say, come on, we're going for that peaceful, joyful, happy love life,
That's wonderful. That's great.
So, thank you, Father Sam. Have a wonderful trip in China. Be safe.
Be safe.
Be safe. God, I can't imagine being in China. You know how many there's billions of people in China.
There are.
We heard it on the Olympics last night. There's billions of people.
There are. A lot more Chinese than there are Americans.
That's why when you watch the TV, like you see them walking through the streets and they can't move because there's a lot of people, right? When you see that, I mean, I see it all the time, like the pollution and because of all the cars
Right.
and everything.
Yeah, well, they're building out their country very, very rapidly, from what I understand.
Oh, my
I see.
gosh.
A lot of infrastructure being put up in China.
Wow. Unbelievable. Okay, so Chief, now that I gave you some time to sing through the national anthem and the prayer, that's what the question that I have. Like, I know you don't have the answer, but what's your thought on that?
Well, I think, why can't we keep the peace that we have during the Olympics? I really don't think, everyone's focused on the Olympics, and that distracts you from what's going on in the
That's
rest of
true.
the world, and the things that were going on before the Olympics are going on during the Olympics, and unfortunately they'll be going on after the Olympics.
I got a question then. So that's really, thank you, because that is the truth. But we talk about the mind and how, like, when you're focused on something positive, like if we can all just keep our minds on being a good person and looking inward to try to do the right thing all the time, that would really help in the universe.
It would help if everybody could do that, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to get everyone to do that. But it would
No,
certainly help.
I know, but it's just like my prayer and my hope. But what I think is, like, we all focus on the Olympics, and it's such a joyful, really wonderful time that at least most of the people's mindset now are on joy and happiness and really coming together as a world, and rather than, we were talking about it in the green room, how some people copy one another.
Right.
Copy murders and
Right.
copy,
Yeah, that's
terrorism.
Well, I think, and we were talking, I think a lot of the people that they are claiming are terrorists, for example, maybe the person in Orlando, I think really he was probably a lot was mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
And when you take a look at people like ISIS or ISIL or whatever you want to call that, with the propaganda they're putting up online, with beheading people and burning people alive. You know, that type of violence, that mainstream type of violence, could appeal to certain mentally ill people that have a propensity to
Right.
violence. And I want to be like that because that's accepted. And I'm not accepted in society, but if I'm like them, I'm accepted. And that may just give them enough motivation to act, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that particular group, is having tremendous success with social media and the internet and publications, inspiring people to join in on their cause, and it's very disturbing.
Social media, we were talking about in the green room as well. It was really a wonderful thing because you can connect with everybody around the world, you know, but it also can be detrimental.
It's really an unprecedented time in the history of the world where one individual can have a cause and they can put it up or maybe capture a video or even stream a live event as it's occurring, and anybody in the world can see it. And it's never been like that before. Normally you would have to go through the traditional media outlets,
Yes.
and you
yes.
wouldn't get a platform.
Yes,
But
yes.
now you can get your own platform. If what you're putting up or what you're saying appeals to the masses, you can get traction.
Right.
And
In a good way.
In a good way or in a bad way.
Or in a bad way.
Yes,
In a
either-
bad
either
way.
one, right.
Yeah, because you know, a woman I work with was just Googling something one time, and an ISIS site came up. She shared it with the police, but
They're all over the place. I mean, they really are. And then, you know, they've actually been able to encourage and convince young children in America to come overseas. I mean,
that's
they've
very
been,
sad.
you know, what we would consider from normal families have been interdicted in Europe, trying to travel over to Syria and to Iraq and to the war-torn areas because their message is able to entice people.
Well, they know how to manipulate.
It's almost as the same kind of mindset as a sexual predator, where they're able to convince people to act outside their normal behaviors.
Right.
But they're very good at it, and they should not be, you know, underjudged. You know, they're very
So how do we teach our children, you know, not? I mean, because they draw them in. Like I mean, you know, we also, you know, hear about people that start relationships, older men starting relationships with younger girls, you know, through the internet. I mean, that's just a manipulation. They're lying. So how do we teach our children to?
I would say it's basically good old-fashioned parenting. You know, talk to your children, know what they're doing. You don't just give them a computer and a smartphone and say, all right, you know, run
Right.
loose on the internet. You have to know what they're doing, you know, who they're talking to, where they're going. You know, you just can't, because they have so much access to things that my children didn't have when they were young.
Yes, and I didn't have it when I was growing up, you know. So it's sad.
There's
It's
a lot
sad.
of very hateful messages on the internet, and you know, they're uncensored. And like you said, if you Google things, you can find all sorts of things on there. So.
You know, I find that there's no boundaries anymore. Like because of the internet, it's just we're all over the place. There's no, you know, I mean, even when you go out to eat, everybody's on you know, looking at their cell phones, and you know, and I'm to blame as well because of work, you know, because I gotta stay in tune at work, and you know, so I keep mine. But I mean, you see families just like even the parents clicking away.
Right,
You know?
not talking
And you
to
see
each
that
other.
when they go out to dinner.
Right.
In a fancy restaurant even.
mean-
I saw a family and they barely talked to each other. After they ordered, they were all on their separate phones.
And eating together, the family time that you're losing out on is invaluable. I mean, the sharing of, you know, how was your day, learning about what
Right,
you're
that's
doing.
how we grew
Right.
up.
That's
Right.
exactly,
And that's where the parents could see if
there's a
something's
problem.
off.
exactly. And if you're
You
not talking to your children, you're not going to be able to recognize that.
Right.
You know, I really noticed the change in behavior from riding the Long Island Railroad. I mean, years ago, you would see people facing each other, having conversations. Now you ride the Long Island Railroad, almost everybody has their face down on their phone,
Wow.
doing something. You know, and it's great. It's the access to all kinds of information. You have an encyclopedia plus. Basically, you have what used to be in the library at your fingertips at any moment.
Any
There's
moment.
something you want to know, you can get access to it, but there's an upside and a downside to every technology, and we see that in law enforcement. And the explosion of technology, the pace at which new technology is coming on the market is almost daunting to keep up with it. And it seems like those that are going to exploit it for bad are always almost a step ahead of us, and we have to keep up with them. It's challenging.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, Michael Jordan. Did you hear Michael Jordan donated $1 million?
$1 million to the IACP, yes.
Yes, $1 million, and the other one as well. The what's it called? I don't know. But he donated the $1 million to each side, the police as
Okay.
well as the, so I really respect that he took that platform and he's putting it,
It was the International Association of Chiefs of Police Institute for Community Police Relations and the NAACP Legal Defense Fund.
yes, which is good because he wants to make a difference in everyone's
He wants
life.
to be fair.
He wants to be fair, and I love that coming from someone who's distinguished like Michael Jordan, who has the platform to be able to do it. When you have that platform, your voice really makes a difference in the world. So I hope. So what will they do with that finances that he provided for the police
Well,
officers?
the IACP, generally pushes out best practices to law enforcement agencies. I get an email every morning from the IACP,
Oh, really?
and I get multiple emails during the course of the day. They call news articles that are important to us, and they have best practices that they push out. So they'll probably use that to develop best practices for law enforcement agencies in this country and all around the world on how to develop community policing model.
So they're not only for the United States; they're around the world.
Yeah, that's what they call it, the International Association of
Okay,
Chiefs of Police.
okay,
It's
that's
an
awesome.
international organization. Yes.
Okay, now tell us a little bit because we're in the green room. We're talking about your Homeland Security. What did you do? With Homeland
I worked with Homeland Security. One of the main things that I worked on was radiation, nuclear type stuff, and I was a chairman of a committee for the Securing the Cities program in New York City, and that's a federal program that was administered through the New York City Police Department to protect New York City from a radiological or a nuclear attack, and they bought upwards of $100 million in equipment and training for law enforcement agencies in the areas all surrounding New York City, including Suffolk County, Nassau County, Westchester, Rockland, departments in New Jersey, departments in Connecticut, and the intent there was to prevent dangerous radiological and nuclear material from getting into New York City to attack the city.
Wow. That's mind-boggling to me, and I said that out in the green room. That is mind-boggling that we have to. You said that we don't have to worry about it, but it's just mind-boggling that somebody has to worry about it.
Right. I mean, it's not something that you need to worry about, and you shouldn't be worried about it, and that's not something that should really be on your mind. But that's the fidelity that we have of the threats that could happen. I mean, that's a very unlikely event, but it's so catastrophic that we need to be prepared for it and try to stop it.
Are you ever think we'll have something happen like that?
I think people are going to continue to try. I do know that as ISIL took over areas in both Syria and Iraq, they took over hospitals. Hospitals have radiological material, so they may very well have some radiological material. Can they get it into the United States? That's why programs like Securing the Cities are so important to try to prevent that from happening.
Wow.
I mean, we just basically can't let our guard down.
Yeah. And there's people that are focusing on that 24/7.
I am confident that if they had their hands on it and got it in the country, they would absolutely use it. I mean, these, again, are the people that are cutting people's heads off and burning people alive. I mean,
I can't understand it.
It's just absolutely horrifying. It really is.
I mean, because, in the song I'm going to sing a little bit from a distance, it talks about, you look like my friends. Like, the average person, I mean, we're talking about people that are thinking like that. But people just want to live their lives.
They do.
No matter what country you're in, no matter what faith you are, no matter what, you just want to go to work every day. You just want to live your life. You want to be your family. You want to have love in your life. So to me, I can't understand. I can't grab that concept that people. I know they do it, but it's so sad.
I mean, I don't know
They want the power to take over the world.
Well, I think that's what they're trying to do. I don't know exactly what the motivation is, but they're trying to pull down the Western nations and destroy them. I mean, that's really what their goal is, So there are no rules as far as they're concerned. They'll do anything they can to make that happen. Even to me, the events of 9/11 still seem surreal all these years later, that something that horrific could happen just a few miles from here. It's just terrible.
That just stopped. That stopped the entire world. It stopped the entire world. Because everybody was just focusing on, in the New York. It was so sad, And I remember vividly, like people, just the stories you heard about. And I mean, I had a priest in my church that had to go to a wife's house, a family's house, and let her know he didn't make it. I mean, it was just. I'll never forget it. I heard the story, he walked up to her front door and she thought it was going to be, her husband and he had dirt all over him and she thought, he's in the hospital, but
didn't make it.
Didn't make it.
Yeah, well, I mean, for someone like me, that's a focus. I mean, that kind of changed my mindset, and you know, I'm very, very focused on doing everything I can to never let something terrible like that happen in this region or to this country ever again. You know, so I had a kind of a ritual every anniversary 9/11. There were certain specials on the History Channel, the Discovery Channel that I would watch, and there was one in particular where there were a gentleman that climbed outside of one of the fire floors, and he was actually trying to climb down to the lower floor and get back in. And I know what happens to him. But every year I watch the show, I root for him that this year he's going to make it. And obviously he doesn't, but it's...
But that just keeps you focused on what the mission is.
I mean, you've seen the bumper stickers, never forget. We really can never forget.
We'll never forget
we can't
that.
forget. And, you know, we have a younger generation of police officers coming on that really were not old enough probably to comprehend that. People of my generation, I will never forget that event. And
I'll
I will
never forget it either.
Where were you at that time?
I was actually assigned to our Highway Patrol Bureau. And I mean, if you remember, what a beautiful day it was.
It was
I
a
mean,
beautiful
It was such
day.
a gorgeous day. And I was in my office, and someone came in and said, you know, a plane hit the World Trade Center. And I thought maybe it was like the small plane that had hit the Empire State Building years before. And then it started to unfold, and it just seemed to get worse and worse. It just was a terrible day.
I was, I forget where it was when I first heard it, but then I worked at Mary Help of Christians, so I went to Mary Help of Christians, and I went up by the Virgin Mary, and I was at Mary Help of Christians, and I went up to they have a big statue of Virgin Mary in the back, and I was just praying because, you know, we felt helpless. We really felt helpless. We felt like, what do we do? Like, it was like stripping us of our rights and of our peace and of our freedom, and just, it was all, and then the people that were just going through it, you watched it on TV, it was just terrible.
And we felt helpless in law enforcement too. I mean, we wanted to help our neighboring law enforcement agency in New York City, and there was really almost nothing we could do, although we did send personnel in there for long periods of time afterwards to help them recover from it. You know, at that particular moment, there was really nothing almost anybody could do.
I know.
I think the closeness and the unity that we had at that time, we seem to be forgetting about it.
People got back on with their lives, and I think they forgot the sacrifice that the fire and the police officers made that day. You know, they went in there probably knowing that there was a good chance that they wouldn't come out, but they were bound by their duty to help people, and that's what they did. And that's that's really what law enforcement did. Remember, I told you, most cops come on the job to help people,
Right.
and that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to help the people get out in that building at the risk to their lives, and in many cases at the loss of their lives for many of the people that went in
They
there.
were really heroes.
They are. You know, we must never forget that.
Well, I mean, I will say that's why I think this platform that we have to, you know, bring awareness to people is really important. It helps me to stay on top of what my purpose is in life, because we're on this planet, on this earth for some reason, and we have to have a mission, like yours as being a police officer is always to serve, which we're honestly blessed to have you
I appreciate
as
that.
one of the police officers, you know, as chief of police, because I'm sure you lead your police officers phenomenally, you know. But that's what we do. We try to always remember. This helps us to remember, you know, what our purpose is, where we're supposed to be going, that there is a bigger picture, you know, in life. So one of my questions was, where do you go to find peace, hope, and love? Like, what, like, I know in the mornings now I get up and I meditate. I like to be in the silent mode so that I can reflect on, you know, what I want to happen during the day. Like, I need to plan my day out, but then I let it kind of go the way it does, but I want to be aware of the blessings that I have around me, even though we have difficulties in our lives. We all have our difficulties, we all have our challenges, we all have, you know, problems, you know, but we're blessed to be alive and to be here and to have everything around us. So where do you find that?
And I think from what I've read and I've experienced as a person, one of the keys to being happy is appreciating what you have. And you know, my life has been very good. As I said, I never thought career-wise, I mean, just being a police officer was really the fulfillment of a lifelong dream. And if I had spent 30 years driving a sector car in the Suffolk County Police, I would have been thrilled. I mean, it was just a great opportunity. You know, so I think really appreciating what you have. I was never looking to move to the next job on the department. I always appreciated every job I had and tried to do the best that I could while I was working there. So that really brings you a lot of fulfillment. I mean, you made the call me father, Cameron, before, but you know, I think there is a close,
Yes.
a close relationship between the clergy and the police. You know, we're
Yes.
both experiencing people when they're in dire situations and they need help, and both police and the clergy have the ability to make a profound difference in people's lives.
Yes.
You know, even if it's just listening to somebody and the issue that they have may not seem all that significant to us, it's extremely significant to us, or they wouldn't have taken the time to call 911. Whenever you call 911, something really must be wrong in your life. So, you know, even if it's what seems like a minor issue to us, even if it's just hearing them out and giving them the cathartic opportunity to express what's wrong, it's very, very good. So you
Right.
can, if you do this job right, you can go home every day with the sense of reward that you've helped somebody. And that's probably the best thing about being a police officer, is that you have that opportunity to help people. And I know I have 2,400 people working for me that do that every day.
Wow, wow. Well, we're absolutely blessed to have met you and to connect with you. I believe everything happens in life for a reason, and you know, everybody you meet in your life is there for a reason and a purpose. And I'm really, I mean, the fact that we have this, you know, to always remember and to look back on, and I will definitely always look back at this and, you know, and listen to your words, because you know, you're an inspiration for a lot of people, especially young children, and that's something that police officers and athletes especially, children look towards you, because you know, we teach our children to respect police officers, you know, and athletes, kids just gravitate towards. So
Right,
it's really important, you know, when a child sees a police officer to respect them, you know, and the fact that you're living your dream is really an inspiration to everybody. Do you go to schools to share with them your?
I mean, I do go out to speak to the community as often as I can. Obviously, my job is somewhat demanding, you know,
Yes.
so I can't get out as much as I have. But opportunities like this allow me to get out and speak to all your
Yes,
viewers at
yes.
once. So it really is, like I said, to me, this is part of community policing, part of being transparent, talking about police, demystifying police. You know, and one of the sayings that the Police Benevolent Association has on their website is ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And I can tell you, you know, when I talk to police officers, they're just like you, they're just like me, they're just really ordinary people,
Right.
but they're faced with opportunities. And I'll give you an example where the airplane went down in Setauket Harbor. You probably recall that?
Yes, yes.
6 precinct officers
Yes.
got there, the water was freezing cold, they commandeered kayaks,
Oh
and
my
they
God.
paddled out there in their uniform, in their gun belts, in their bulletproof vests. And if you've ever been a kayak, you know how tippy they are. They
Yes.
could have got thrown out in the water and they could have drowned.
Yeah.
They never even gave that a thought. These are
Right.
ordinary men that just did an extraordinary thing, and they saved 3 lives that would have, in my mind, would have perished
Wow.
without them taking that action.
Wow.
So it's thrilling to be able to be in charge of a group of people like that. I mean, they're just honorable, good people out every day trying to do good things.
Wow. Wow. So we have a few more minutes, and I asked you in the green room, like, and I think you just answered most of the why you came on the show, but is there anything else that you would want to say, that you have this platform to, you know, to the world, or to the United States, or to, you know, the average person, or to children?
Well, one thing I would say, you know, with all the attention recently, you know, and they just released a video from Chicago with you know, an officer-involved shooting. Most officers, you know, only use force when necessary. I can absolutely say that about the officers on our department. I can cite numerous examples, and obviously we're running out of time. I don't have time to do that. But our officers have assumed additional risk of harm to themselves to disarm somebody or talk somebody out of hurting themselves, where it would have been much easier to use a higher level of force. But they didn't want to hurt somebody. You know, police don't come on the job to hurt people. They come on to help people.
Right.
Sometimes mistakes are made, and you really have you know, milliseconds to make really life or death decisions.
Yes.
Sometimes the decisions are wrong, and people just need to recognize sometimes bad decisions are made, and I really don't think in many cases is malice when they're made. They may just be honest mistakes.
We're
But,
human. You're
we are.
human. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things you said. Although you're trained, you know, but you're human.
You are. And sometimes you make mistakes, but I do know that you know, the members of our department are very restrained in the use of force, and they really try to find ways around using force. And if they have to use it, they use the minimal amount and only as long as it's necessary.
And the people have to realize that if they're stopped by the police, that they should listen and they should obey what's going on, and they won't get hurt.
Unfortunately, we do deal with people that are intoxicated, people that are on drugs, people that have mental illness, and they're very difficult to deal with. You know, they're not receptive sometimes to logic. You know, they'll act out, and you know, sometimes you do have to use force. It's just no other way around it.
I have, Janine, I can't see the photos on the screen, but we actually had a photo of the mothers of, what is it called?
I just had it here a second
Yeah, I'm not good
ago.
You know,
It is
Now I got it.
the mothers
Oh, there it
of
is.
the Mothers of the Movement.
Mothers of the Movement. And the reason I saw them was because I love Katie Couric. I always follow Katie Couric. I love her stories and stuff. But I respect them because they, you know, they have a story. And what I love about them is they're coming together in a peaceful manner to try to bring unity. And that's wonderful. And so I think both sides, I love the fact that Michael Jordan had given the money to both sides to be very equal. And you were a blessing to everybody. You were really a prime example of what we look to officers to protect us. And that makes us comfortable to be able to go live our lives the way that, you know, is free. We should be free, and you make us free. So
Yes,
thank you,
yeah. Well,
thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You know, it was a blessing to have you on the show.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you very
So,
much.
did anything else you want to say? Because I don't want to leave anybody with.
No, I mean, as far as these ladies, I mean, I have great empathy for anyone who
Lost
lost
their
a child
yes.
or had their child injured, and I feel terrible for them.
Yes.
You know, that's not something that I would wish on anybody.
Yes.
Probably the worst thing that could
Yes.
ever happen to a
Yes.
parent.
Yes, and the truth is, and this is, I mean, I am not one to learn about the details, because there's two sides to the story, and then there's the truth, because there was nobody there
Right.
to see exactly what happened. So I mean, I can understand that police officers and politicians or whoever is involved with it are trying to pull together the pieces. They don't have the truth of what happened that day. So, I mean, it's hard to
And it
pull
takes
together.
time.
It takes time. So I can understand, you know, it's hard for you as an officer or anybody to pull together pieces when you don't know. I think don't they videotape, don't they have cameras on video?
Some departments have body cameras, some departments have in-car video, you know, so you can't get video. But sometimes, you know, the image can be distort what actually happened, so you do need to do an investigation.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, unless
But-
the video is so telling
Yeah.
as to what happened.
Right.
But it's hard because, like I said, there's two sides to a story, and then there's what exactly happened.
Correct.
And you got to pull your pieces together. It's really hard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It
you
was a
very much.
pleasure, a blessing, and we're honestly honored to have met you. We're going to take a short break, and I'm going to sing From a Distance. And if we have time, I'll sing I Believe in Music. I don't know if I'll have time, but we wing it. So we'll be right back.
It's okay. Hi, welcome back to ReneMarie Stroke of Luck. As I was praying and really thinking and meditating and thinking of a song that really meant something according to what we were talking about, peace, hope, and love around the universe and the world and within our own hearts and our own souls, the song From a Distance came up. And so I'm going to sing it and listen to the words. Go ahead, Janine. Very powerful words that mean a lot, which really is a message from God for all of us, because this is how God feels about us. From a distance, the world looks blue and green, and the snow-capped mountains white. From a distance, the ocean meets the stream, and the eagles take to flight. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. It's the voice of hope, it's the voice of peace, it's the voice of every man. From a distance, we all had enough, and no one is in need. There are no guns, no bombs, and no machines, no hungry mouths to feed. From a distance, we are instruments marching in a common band, and it's the song of hope, it's the song of peace, they're the song of every man. And God is watching us, God is watching us, God is watching us from a distance. These are my favorite words. Here we go. From a distance, you look like my friend, even though we are at war. From a distance, I just cannot comprehend what all this fighting is for. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. And it's the hope of hope, it's the love of love, it's the heart of every man. It's the hope of hope, it's the love of love. This is a song of every man. And God is watching us, God is watching us, God is watching us from a distance. God is watching us, God is watching us, God is watching us from a distance. That was a sign from God. I don't care what anybody said, that was a sign from God. Oh. Well, I don't know what I'm doing, but can we do another? Come on up. I don't care. To me, come on, Chief. Well, we wanted to, but we don't have to. We don't. Oh, it's still on? I can't hear it, Janine, though. Let's go. Well, I can just sit around making music all day long. As long as I'm making my music, I can't do nobody wrong. And who knows, maybe someday I'll come up with a song that makes people want to stop the fussing and fighting just long enough to sing along. Let's go. I believe in music, and I believe in love. Let's go. Music is love, and love is music, if you know what I mean. And people who believe in music are the happiest people I've ever seen. So clap your hands, stomp your feet, and shake your tambourine. Lift your voices to the sky. God loves it when you sing. Let's go. I believe in music, and I believe in love. So we're gonna blow our kisses, and thank you so much to Chief. We're honored. It was a pleasure. Come back. Great, great. Judy, you're the best. Without Judy, nothing can get done. So thank you so much. Have a stroke of luck in your life. We're gonna blow our kisses. Come on. All right. Have a wonderful day. God bless. Have a stroke of luck, and we'll see you in a few weeks.